Hello guys, welcome back to another exciting video. Today's video is quite interesting. It's coming from TFP Student Action. It's titled Students About Simple Abortion Question Makes Witness Squirm. We know that abortion is becoming a norm. It's becoming especially with the abortion rights all over the place, women owning their body and having a choice to their body, and so many conversations about abortion and all of that today. So it's important that today we're going to be watching this video from this woman who they're going to be asking questions about abortion. And yeah, because at the end of the day, you cannot justify what is wrong, okay? In as much as you own your body, it's your body and all of those things, you opened your eye, you had unprotected sex, which is wrong, which you shouldn't have, especially when you're not married. You went ahead without thinking about the consequence of what that of having unprotected sex with somebody, and then you wore her head, and then you are going ahead to have an abortion. And because you think you're the carrier of the seed of the child, you feel like you have a right to actually murder that child. Because some people, the child sometimes, you know what, we're going to be watching this together. We're going to be discussing it at the end of the video or during the course of this video, okay? So before we dive into it, my name is Oge. Welcome to my channel. My name is Faith Ogechi or Oge. Welcome to my channel. It's your first time here. Hi. Do well to like, share, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. Let's dive straight into it.
Senator Kennedy, then Senator Stabenow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Professor Myers, you are here at the invitation of my Democratic colleagues, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. In his opening statement, my good friend Senator Whitehouse said, I want to quote, reproductive justice is economic justice, close quote. Do you agree with that?
I might, as an economist, use the word rights, but yeah, I do agree with that.
Okay. That's not true for the baby, is it?
Okay.
Well, first of all, I would refer to a fetus, not a baby.
But that's, well, a fetus. I refer to it as a baby. That's not true for the baby, is it?
The evidence that I presented to you, Senator Kennedy, was evidence about measurable effects on the lives of women, families.
Right, I got that part, but that's not true for the baby, is it?
I'm sorry, I don't really understand.
Well, it's not true. Let me be clear.
Let me back up. As an economist, I measure effects using data. I'm not here to talk about ethics, assignment of personhood. That's not my
Well, but you
role.
said you agreed with the chairman's statement that reproductive justice is economic justice. There is no economic justice for the baby because the baby's dead, right?
I wouldn't refer. I don't really know how to answer your question. I would refer to
Was the baby dead or alive?
We're referring to a fetus.
Okay, is the fetus dead or alive after an abortion?
Okay, this whole so the conversation has always been that it's a fetus, not a baby. What's the difference? Potato. What's the difference? The fetus has life. The fetus has life in it. It is formed already. That's how you know that you're pregnant. It has life already. So it's a baby. And it's just like a child. A child is a child, a toddler, right? It's only growing, but it has life in it. That child has life in it. So it is a baby. The fact that it's in its budding stage, in its growing stage, and it hasn't developed arms and legs, doesn't make it lifeless, doesn't make it less of a child, of a baby. So that's the whole debate. That's what because when they want to justify these things, they say it's still a fetus, it's not yet a child, it's not yet a baby. What's difference? What, please, I would love to know in the comment section. What's difference? Does it make it less murderous, or does it make it less I don't know the word now to use. You saying fetus, he's saying baby. What does it make it less of being a baby, or does it make it less? Does it make it lifeless? Do you understand what I mean? Let's continue the video.
the fetus would be dead after an
Okay, all
abortion.
right. If the mother is healthy and the baby is healthy, do you support abortion up to the moment of birth?
So I think that's a really hard question to answer because that just doesn't happen. You're asking me about something that simply doesn't happen.
Well, it's legal.
I will tell you
It's legal in Vermont, New Jersey, Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico, Alaska, and the District of Columbia, and the Loon wing of the Democratic Party supports abortion up to the moment of birth.
It's legal.
So, do you support that or oppose it?
I don't think, let me say, I'm here to talk about the economics of abortion.
No, you're here as an expert.
And
I
think you're asking me a question as a person, which I'll answer as a person.
Okay, tell me as a person.
I will tell you as a person that I have ambivalence about abortion. I will tell you as a person, I haven't personally had an abortion. And I will also tell you as a person looking at the evidence around me and understanding how complex the decisions are that people face.
Okay.
I'm just simply uncomfortable
I got to move on,
thinking that there's a
Professor, 'cause I don't
simple
think
answer
you're
that
going to
applies
answer
to
my
everyone.
question.
I trust women and their healthcare providers.
It's real simple. You either
She's
support
not answering the
abortion
question.
for a healthy mother and baby up to the moment of birth, or you don't.
Or not.
And I don't think it's a difficult question. How about you, doctor? Do you support, if the mother is healthy and the baby's healthy, do you support abortion up to the moment of birth?
So, Senator, you're using really inflammatory language to talk about a medical procedure, and it's not a simple yes or no. Not to mention, when you make statements like that, you're erasing the grief and the trauma that my patients
You're not
are
going to answer my
through.
question either, are you?
It's not a question that
I
can
think
be answered
I
in
know
an
your
appropriate
answer.
way.
I think I know your answer. Mrs. Ford, okay? Let's take a baby at 21 weeks. Hold up, Mike. This is a baby at 21 weeks, okay? The baby can feel pain, right?
Yes.
And the baby's pretty developed, right?
Yes.
And do you know the name of the procedure that the doctor would use to abort that baby at 21 weeks?
I'm not a doctor, but I believe it's a DNR.
It's called dilation and evacuation. And then the doctor would take what's called the doctor would call it a Sofer clamp. It's really a pair of pliers with sharp teeth on the end. And without giving the baby any pain medication, and start tearing the baby apart. Is that right?
As far as I understand the procedure.
Yeah, and she might start with the legs and pull them out, and the arms and pull them out, right? And then she might go for the heart or the spine and just pull the baby out piece by piece. Is that right? Without giving the baby pain medication.
That's what I understand the procedure to be.
Okay, so then the doctor would go in and use those pliers to crush the baby's head. Is that right?
As far as I understand.
And then she'd pull the head out, the crushed skull out, right?
Senator Kennedy, your time has expired here.
Well, you
and
gave
Senator
the
Stabenow is
others
waiting.
plenty of time, Mr. Chairman.
Just letting you know, your time's expired. Your
Okay.
other senator's waiting.
Well, I was waiting when you were letting others. I'm sorry you don't want to hear about what happens.
No, I don't think anybody
in
else
an
is
actual
going to- I don't think
abortion, but
anybody
that's
else
I
is going
thought that
over.
was what we were here to talk about.
This is so traumatic. I think him dissecting it this way is going to make people who are pro-abortion, who are pro-choice, understand these things. That if some parts of America or some parts of the United States support abortion up to the point of birth, then you need to know what actually is going down there. I remember Ben Carson coming up on The View. They interviewed him and then they were asking him questions on abortion, and he mentioned how they've said they tried to talk some women out of abortion. I'm not sure. I will look for that video. And some women who eventually have these babies, and he helped these women give birth to these babies. He has seen how some of these babies grow up, and he's seen how how active, how happy these children are. Imagine if these children were actually aborted. I can understand that sometimes you make mistakes, and I don't think people get pregnant by mistake, because if you're having unprotected sex, if you're having sex without protection or without a safety measure, you should know that there is a consequence, which is pregnancy. That is biology, simple biology. So if two people are going to come together to have unprotected sex, and then it results into a baby, and then you want to have an abortion, this is actually example of what actually is going down. The Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill." It is a law. It's a rule. It's something that even God kicks against. Now the conversation or the argument is, it is not yet a baby. It's not yet, a fetus. Now let's leave it at the fetus stage. What about the stage, like he gave an example of 21 weeks, where the baby is fully developed, and at that point you want to perform a DLR on a baby that's 21 weeks? Think about it. That is murderous. That is actually killing a baby, if you think about it well. And yeah, God doesn't support murder, because that is what it is clearly. Anyway, this is my own view, and this is my opinion, and this is what I think, because it is becoming a thing. It is becoming a thing. I mean, in the Western world, it's a thing, right? Even though there are still arguments for and against it, some people do not agree, some people agree, some people are pro-Trump, some people are not against him, and all of those, and yeah, these are conversations which are very, very sensitive and important, because I don't even want to go into politics right now, but I think that these things are because 20 years down the line, we are going to regret some of the choices we have made. 20 years, 10 years down the line, we are going to regret some of the choices we have made. If you have a DLR at the point of birth, you're not even thinking about your life, you're not thinking about your body, you're not thinking about your womb, your uterus, your organs. Imagine going through for 9 months, and at the point of birth you want to take out the pregnancy. Why don't you give that child a life and then give it up for adoption or something? The point is, yeah, just like we did a video about, this child, like the previous video, one of my previous videos, where this child that was born a boy, and then he had some complications at birth, and then his male organ, was chopped off or was cut off, or he had an issue with his organ, but he's a boy. So the parents thought it was wise for them, since just so that he doesn't grow up to be a troubled child, why don't you try to raise him as a girl? This child is a boy. He grew up as a trouble. In fact, that thing they were running away from, they eventually came back to it, because we know how that we know how it ended up for that child. Why don't we give these children the fact that you have decided to do this thing and there is a consequence? Why don't you just face the consequence? I can understand that, the trauma you get to face. Some women get raped. Yes, I don't want to sound insensitive. Some people, horrible things happen to them. Some people, it might not be consensual sex. Some people might be raped. Some people might be a lot of all these things. I can understand that, and this is not to sound insensitive, but I'm just saying that since there is a consequence already, there is a child on the way, why don't you give this? You don't even know this child that you're trying to birth. Why don't you give that child an opportunity? Why don't you give that child life? And if you don't want the child, you can give the child up for adoption. Well, this is my opinion. I would love to know yours in the comment section. Let's know your thoughts and your opinions concerning this video, okay? Let's know what you think and your additions. Let's try to keep it civil. No throwing of jabs or you know, trying to be insensitive here. Yes. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on post notification bell, and yeah, I'll see you in my next episode. Bye bye.